Hello everyone. Welcome to Facts You Need to Know channel, a place to share interesting stories of countries around the world. Today we are going to Brazil, a country known as the Land of Samba. Referring to Brazil, it's a country that is quite familiar to a lot of football fans. A country known for its thriving football scene and the most unique festivals in the world. A country where everyone knows football. Many people often jokingly say that when you walk the streets of Brazil, you can pick a team to win the World Cup there. So what are the interesting stories of Brazil? Let's find out together. Brazil is a large country in the east of the South American continent. The total area of the country is 8.515.767 square kilometers, accounting for half of the area of the South American continent. It is the fifth largest country in the world. The country also has a coastline of 7,400 kilometers along the Atlantic Ocean, which forms a favorable exchange area for Brazil with countries in the European region and countries in the African region. Brazil has borders with nearly every country in South America, except Chile and Ecuador. The population of this country is about 215 million people, ranking 6th in the world. Brazil has one of the largest river systems in the world. This country has a total of 8 large basins. The water of the rivers passes through these basins to drain into the Atlantic Ocean. The capital of Brazil is Brasilia. It is one of the fastest built capitals in the world, taking only 41 months to build. It was started from 1956 until 1960. Brasilia tops the list of the world's best planned cities, and is recognized by UNESCO as a cultural heritage of mankind. This is also the first and only time so far that an architectural work of the 20th century has been honored with that title. Brazil's capital Brasilia has something particularly interesting in that it looks like an airplane from above. What about the climate in Brazil? Most of Brazil lies between the equator and the southern Tropic of Capricorn. Although 90% of Brazil's territory is located in the tropics, there are still quite large differences in climate between one region and another in the country. The average temperature of the year around the equator is quite high, averaging about 25 degrees Celsius. However, during the hottest days of summer, temperatures in some parts of Brazil can reach up to 40 degrees Celsius. It is very suitable for swimming and watching beautiful women here. All flags have origins and stories to tell. The Brazilian flag is no exception. The current Brazilian flag was adopted on November 19, 1889. It is called Ouro Verde, which means yellow and green, just like the dominant color on this flag. The national flag of Brazil is green with a yellow diamond inside. Green symbolizes abundant nature. Yellow diamond symbolizes wealth and prosperity. The blue circle symbolizes our planet with 27 white stars placed in it. These 27 stars of different sizes represent the states in Brazil, and are arranged in the shape of the southern constellation. A white inscription runs through the blue circle, inscribed with the Brazilian slogan, Ordem e Progresso. It means order and progress. History, culture and people. Brazilian ancestry is now quite diverse, including American Indians, Europeans, mainly Portuguese and Africans. More than 90 million Brazilians are descended from waves of migration from abroad. The majority of southern Brazilians are of European descent, while in southeastern and midwestern Brazil, the number of whites is comparable to that of Africans and other multiracial Brazilians. Northeastern Brazil has a majority of Portuguese and African descendants. In northern Brazil there is the largest number of American Indian descendants in the country. The culture of Brazil is mainly based on the culture of Portugal. It has been a Portuguese colony for 3 centuries, and Portuguese immigrants have given Brazil important foundations of its culture. The main religion in Brazil is Catholicism. It also has the largest Christian community in the world. Portuguese is the only official language in Brazil. It is spoken by the entire population and it is the only language used in schools. Moreover, Brazil is the only Portuguese-speaking country in the Americas, so it has made this language one of its own characteristics. Portuguese in Brazil has developed independently and has undergone fewer phonetic changes than the original Portuguese. So it is often referred to as the Camões language. The gap between rich and poor in this country is quite high. Despite being a large country with abundant resources and a quite strong economy, Brazil still has more than 22 million people living below the poverty line. Poverty in Brazil is represented by the large number of slums. most of which exist in urban areas and in remote areas where there is little economic and social development. It is believed that the two main causes of this situation are high interest rates from government debts and rampant corruption in this country. Next, we will come up with interesting things in this country. Brazil hosts the world's largest carnival. Brazil held its first carnival in the early 18th century, and millions later took to the streets to join the festivities. This festival is called Carnival, consisting of celebrations, parade ceremonies combined with street circuses and costumes. People will pretend to be their favorite characters during those ceremonies. This festival is a blend of indigenous Brazilian culture with European and African culture. Therefore, it is very unique. The word carnival originates from the Portuguese word carnaval. It means farewell to meat. But why say farewell to meat? Because for Catholics, this festival takes place 40 days before Easter, before the beginning of Lent. And after this festival, people must abstain from all pleasures related to the body. According to the Guinness Book of Records, the carnival in Rio de Janeiro, southeastern Brazil, is the largest and most famous carnival in the world. This festival usually lasts a week with about 2 million people participating every day. Therefore, every year millions, even tens of millions of people visit Rio de Janeiro to participate in the festival and often such street parties. Samba parades have left unforgettable impressions on each participant. International travelers come to Brazil, who want to immerse themselves in Brazil's unique and strange atmosphere. Brazil has the largest statue of Christ in the world. The Christ statue in Rio de Janeiro is so famous in the world, an iconic image of Brazil. This statue was conceived in the 50s of the 19th century, until the 20s of the 20th century, when this idea was realized. The statue of Christ the Redeemer was completed in 1931 with a height of 38 meters. This statue is located on the top of the Corcovado mountain, with a height of 700 meters. Although the signs of time and harsh nature are imprinted on the statue, it cannot lose its inherent majesty and grandeur. Currently, this statue of Christ is still one of the most famous religious structures of mankind. The statue of Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro has become a symbol of both this city and Brazil. The football movement is very exciting across the country, from professional football fields to the street. This is also the birthplace of the great names of world football such as Pelé, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho. Brazil have won the World Cup 5 times, and are the world's most decorated team so far. Having said that, Brazilians are the world's biggest football fans. From street children to workers, everyone can perform top football. Brazil was born to play football. Capoeira, the death dance of Brazil. The Brazilian martial art capoeira is a cunning disguise, in which dancers are real warriors. This is a very strange martial art. It possesses an outstanding blend of traditional Brazilian dance and African fighting techniques. In the 17th century, the African slave trade took place strongly in Brazil, carried out by Portuguese colonists. The African slaves in Brazil were mainly from the West and Central African tribes. They exchanged and mixed cultural customs with each other. When the traditional martial arts culture of African slaves was discovered, they cleverly combined it with Brazilian folk dance to form capoeira. Born under the prohibition of the Portuguese colonialists, through a period of persistent struggle, capoeira has now become a cultural heritage of the Brazilian people. Brazil is known for its dense forests, and the most famous is the Amazon forest. This is the largest rainforest in the world, but there is also diversity in terms of topography. The north of Brazil is dominated by the Amazon River and dense forests. Up to 2/3 of the Amazon forest belongs to the territory of Brazil. The Amazon has the largest basin in the world with more than 1,000 rivers and tributaries interwoven into a dense network of rivers. The total length of this Amazon River is 6,992 kilometers. It is the largest and longest river in the world. This is also the end of the story of Brazil, the country known as the Land of Samba. Thank you for following this story. If you find it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Now goodbye and see you in the next sections.